Hi, everybody. I'm Suzan McDaniel with Edward Jones. A very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining our session on building collaborative cultures. So let's get started with a little bit of context on who we are at Edward Jones. So we are a Fortune 500 company. We have over 49,000 associates spread across North America. We have 19,000 financial advisors. We have over 15,000 branch offices. And we have the honor and the privilege of caring for close to 7 million clients and their families, and also caring for a little over 1.7 trillion in our clients' assets. Now, as you can see, we are all over North America, and one of our common threads that unites and bonds us is our culture. If we think about our transformational journey that we have been on in our culture, it's really about furthering our purpose. And our purpose is here on the slide. Our purpose at Edward Jones is to partner for positive impact, to improve the lives of our clients and our colleagues, and then together improve communities and society. Part of our transformation is building on the absolute strengths that we have within Edward Jones and evolving to support our purpose and our business strategy. And those evolutions are in the areas of our leadership and how we lead, our organizational structure, and our culture. All right, we believe there's a really strong connection between purpose and culture, right? Our purpose is fundamental to establishing a very rich and a very vibrant culture. And there's some great data that we can see here on the slide from our friends from Quartz and Qualtrics that shows some research between culture and purpose during the pandemic. And what we see here is 52% of workers feel more purposeful since they've started COVID. In addition, 77% believe their company culture has improved since the start of COVID, and they feel more purposeful in their work. Now, we also know, as we can see here from our friends from McKinsey, purpose is also imperative to cultivating a shared identity that informs how the company creates value, influences how the company is managed, and helps unlock business and human potential. And we really believe that here at Edward Jones as the power of purpose and culture coming together. So let's talk a little bit around why we think culture is so important. And I love this picture. This is one of my favorite pictures at Edward Jones. This is actually one of our clients. Who is giving high five to one of our BOAs in our offices. And why I love this picture so much is that it really signifies our culture of deep personal connections. Our culture of human-centeredness really comes through within here. You know, we think about culture. We've had the privilege throughout the years, and Ted Jones, when he started Edward Jones and really grew it, worked with Peter Drucker. And there's this great saying that Peter Drucker has, which is culture eats strategy for breakfast. Hey, so we know that culture is so important for successful business operations, but we believe it's more than that. And it's so fundamental to our successful transformation. We know through our experience and through our research that you see externally that business transformations don't fail on strategy. They fail because the people and the culture do not evolve with it. So at Edward Jones, we are investing in evolving our culture to better support our purpose and our business strategy. All right, let's talk a little bit about how we define culture and set some terms. So if you look in the literature, there are probably thousands of definitions of what you see in culture. And it all tends to center around values and norms. We can see our friends here at Harvard Business Review are defining culture in terms of the behaviors, the systems, the practices guided by overarching values. At Edward Jones, we define our culture as the collection of mindsets and behaviors that positively move us forward. Let's talk a little bit around our cultural journey to bring those concepts to life. So at Edward Jones, we are 99 years strong, hey? And next year, we're going to celebrate our 100th year of serving clients. And in our last 99 years, we have had such a strong culture that's deeply rooted in our values and our purpose, right? And there are so many strengths to our culture, our deep spirit of caring, of altruism, of helping others, of volunteering and helping others grow. Those are such beautiful aspects of our culture that we want to fiercely protect and ensure are carried further. Now, as we think about culture as well, there are elements of it that we know needs to evolve to better support our purpose and our strategy. And so that is what we're focused on. We're focused on identifying in a very thoughtful way, how do we identify what needs to evolve and how do we fiercely protect what we need to stay and remain? So let's talk about how we do this. We do this through mindsets and behaviors. And we have invested and encouraged the interactions between over 3,000 of our associates across North America to help shape our cultural journey with us, right? And we've asked them, talk to us around the mindsets and the behaviors that you think will better enable our business strategy and our purpose. And how do we then evolve them? So as we think about this research, and we've gathered it with, again, over 3,000 of our associates using design thinking, we have found that there are 5 culture mindsets that will best evolve to support our business strategy and our purpose. Now, the first one, leadership. I like to call it courageous leadership, right? This is about creating the conditions and being accountable for creating those conditions where all of our associates can thrive. Place of belonging is next. And it's not sense of belonging. It is a place where you can walk through our branch doors or our headquarters office doors or even our Zoom doors, right? And you feel valued and heard and a part of something bigger, right? Where you can bring all of your beautiful diversity to the table and to be leveraged. Continuous learning is the second one. This is also growth mindset, right? This is about learning out loud, right? This is about it being inquisitive and curious and growing and learning every day. Effective decision making is the fourth one. This is using data and insights to make effective and efficient decisions. And then finally, the last cultural mindset is about growing our impact. Now, this has been a value of ours, and so pleased to see it coming through as a cultural mindset about how do we grow our impact in our clients' lives, as well as in our communities. So these are the 5 cultural mindsets that we have. I want to dig deep on one of them. So place of belonging as it relates to psychological safety. So we know that in order to create that place of belonging, you have to have psychological safety, right? You've got to be able to bring your full self, feel welcomed, feel comfortable. And we see these two things really going hand in hand. And especially during the pandemic, we've been very focused with our leaders around how do we create that psychologically safe place where we can create that sense of belonging. And we've been doing this through lots of innovative ways with our managers and our leaders in building their skill and capability and caring for the whole person, right? The complete person, their physical, their emotional, and their financial well-being. We've also been doing it through encouraging really open and honest conversations. So I'm really pleased to share one of the ways is we've been having what we call courageous conversations. And since June 2020, over 11,500 of our associates have participated in a courageous conversation. That's a conversation where you can bring your full self, where you can learn about other experiences that our associates have had and listen and experience deep empathy with where their learning journeys have been on. Now, we have done this and had great conversations around topics such as furthering our conversation on race, great topics such as appreciation for our military, working with folks who have disabilities and how they are experiencing our workplace, and different groups such as our Hispanic and our Black communities, and really deeply understanding the journeys that they have been on. Now, the second way we are creating these collaborative cultures is through our business resource groups, right? These are our BRGs, we call them affectionately. And these are folks across Edward Jones who volunteer their time to be able to further our diversity, our equity, and our inclusion agendas, and to help them grow and develop as leaders in of themselves. So those are a couple things. I want to continue to pull on this thread around place of belonging, and in particularly the work that we're doing around diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are deeply, deeply committed to our diversity, to creating equity, and to having an inclusive work environment, right? An environment where everyone can bring their full selves to the table every day and diversity is valued. And what you'll see here on the slide are two important ways that we are continuing to demonstrate that place of belonging and our commitment to diversity. The first is by our Edward Jones diverse representation goals. We strive by 2025 to achieve these goals, and those are for our headquarters populations. We aspire to be 20% people of color and gender parity in females. For our partner population, we aspire to be 15% people of color and 40% females. And for our financial advisors in the United States, we aspire to be 15% people of color and 30% females. So these are big aspirational goals that we have, that we are striving to achieve. In addition, we also have our 5-point commitment to address racism and positively impact the opportunities for our people of color. Now, these 5 bullet points that you see here are really simple, but there's a lot of great work that sits underneath them. The first one's about giving everybody a voice. And an example of that is the courageous conversations that I just talked about, where we can listen and learn, as just one example of the work there. The second one is about continuing to focus on equity, hiring, training, promotional practices, and policies. We know these are a very important lever to pull as we want to create a place of belonging for all. Third, we have conducted, I'm pleased to say, our pay analysis and looking if there's any pay gaps between any groups. So I'm pleased to share that less than 2% of our associates had a pay gap, and we have since addressed that and fixed that and have ongoing processes to continue to monitor this. So equal pay for equal work. The fourth is around continuing our race equality training and our anti-racism personnel policies. That is a staple and has been for a long time at Edward Jones, and we're deeply committed to continuing that. And then lastly, we give of our time, we give of our resources, and support organizations and programs that are important for our clients, our colleagues, and our communities. All right, as we think again about building collaborative cultures and bringing our folks together, we have been deeply listening to our associates. And we believe we have the saying, we are better together as one Edward Jones. And that is really exemplified here in this picture and in the work that we do every day. Listening to our associates, creating that greater transparency and clarity. And one way that we demonstrate this is at the beginning of the pandemic, we knew that we had to make fast decisions that would be in line with some guiding principles. And those guiding principles really were about taking care of our clients, taking care of our associates, and working in partnership. And we created this list of guiding principles, of which those are a few, and they became our litmus test, right? When we made decisions, we said, how are we exemplifying our culture through these guiding principles? So we made decisions all through the lens of these principles. And again, they are a wonderful, wonderful symbol of the power of our culture and coming together. We have learned quite a bit, my friends, as we've gone through this cultural transformation. And to be honest, we're still learning every day. As I shared, one of our cultural mindsets is continuous learning, and we're learning out loud. So I'm happy to share some of these learnings with you, and we'll continue, as I said, to keep learning. So first and foremost, as you go through cultural transformations, be intentional, right? Be intentional about where you want to evolve and how you want to evolve. Engage your associates in this cultural journey and vision. Ask for their opinions. Ask them to help you shape the cultural mindsets that you have. You'll get much farther down the road from an embedment and a buy-in if it's not top down, if it's more bottom up. Establish your organization's approach to culture, right? We identified those 5 mindsets that we are driving towards and the subsequent behaviors. Cultivate a place of belonging is so important, and that psychological safety that I talked about. Creating opportunities for growth and learning is also really important. We never learn more than we are uncomfortable in doing new work. And transformation is nothing but new work quite often. Be agile and flexible. And then finally, be purpose-driven in everything you do. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for spending time with us today, for being curious and learning about our cultural evolution here at Edward Jones.